Welcome back to another episode. Absolutely no idea what episode number we're on, but it is just me and Claire today. We're having a little catch up on what we've learned over the last few weeks, months. So, do you want to start, Claire? Or
either, to be fair, because I think it was nice, wasn't it, to come on just you and I and just talk about what we've learned.
Yeah.
Because it's been quite impactful since we kind of come across to the new studio. We changed our branding and our topic of discussion, shall we say, and found our niche. And I feel like since we've done that, we've kind of just gone, oof.
we've had a lot of interaction, haven't we?
We've had a lot.
Which has caused a little bit of grief somewhere down that social media route, hasn't it? But do you know what? We did lose the page, which you've probably all seen, and it was a very, very stressful couple of weeks.
It was horrendous, wasn't it? Because I think what people don't see from the outside is the work we put in, the passion we've got, you know, the guests that we bring along and stuff. It's a lot. And I think people say, no, just make a new page. But I don't think it was as easy as making a new page because of, like you say, the interaction. And I think because of the type of niche that we have, it's not our audience is completely different to any other.
Yeah, and we already had the following that we'd got, although it wasn't a massive following, it had really tripled in the amount of numbers in a couple of weeks. But them's the sort of people that had viewed our reels and things like that and actually are interested in what we're speaking about. So then to start a new page, you just follow your friends, don't you, initially? And
this is it.
Some people are just not really interested in what we're talking about, are they?
Well, I think it's still very controversial, the subjects. I think we're out there, aren't we? We kind of talk on topics that people are either a little bit like, they've never heard of it, they don't understand it, but they're like, okay, what are they talking about? Let's have a little listen to it. And I think it's just not as easy to start again on such a controversial subject that it could just be like, oh, swipe past, which is kind of what. But I think you've got to think as well, it's been a year since we started. It's been a year of hard work.
It has, and I think a lot of people do see that it was going places.
Yeah.
And it's a shame that people live in that mindset of, you know, concentrating on others instead of themselves. But ultimately, we did get it back.
We did. And we learned how to get it back after legal letters.
To get it back. So
we won't say how we got it back.
With that. We're not telling you. You'll have to watch this to find out more. But yeah, I just think since we've been back and we've been here, I've not really spoke, so this for me today.
I love it. Do you know what? I think that's what it was. I think, and this just aligned from nowhere, was to have you and I time on here and talk about where we have come, because I think, like you say, the guests was so different from last time that every time we've been on it, it's been very much the guests educating us. Whereas like to tell like the viewers like where we've implemented that education into our own lives and where we've seen it flourish, because I do believe that's why the podcast has flourished and gone out, because I think from November, TikTok and Instagram, we'd got over about 6,000 combined followers in a short space of time. That I think it's because what we were learning, we were implementing into our lives, so the energy changed.
Yeah, I feel like since I've learned so much about me, like massively, and it's. People probably think I'm going out of my mind as per usual, but a lot of it I have took away and thought, driving home, that was so interesting, or I do that. Is that what I'm living like? And do you know what? These past few weeks, I've sort of put a bit more of a structure into my own life of understanding me. Because although I thought I did, there's new things that's been said to me now that I think, well, I would never have said that without you telling me. But I'm glad you have told me, because now I can work with that. And I just feel like I've been able to be more me, explaining it to my closest people and, you know, just bear with me because this is how I think, or that's how that's making me feel.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the time I would just go off rails and be like, why are you doing that? Why do you want to upset me?
Yeah.
And it's not that people want to upset you. It was just that, you know, that's how I was viewing things from how I feel.
Yeah.
So I think since I've sort of learned new things about myself, I can contain that, but also ask other people around me who are in my life a lot.
Yeah.
Just bear with me on that, or, you know, don't do that, please, because
the awareness is there, isn't it? And I think that, because I think when I look at it, when we first started the pod, obviously we knew we were on some kind of path, the two of us, but we were still very naive.
Yeah, definitely. And you're still learning.
Yeah.
Like, people said to me, 7 years that I've been doing this now, and 7 years, and I still feel like I'm in year one.
Yeah.
Because the amount of stuff that I have learned these past 6 months has been massive. And like pre the podcast, I actually knew nothing. Do you know what I mean? Because we're speaking to people who are more knowledgeable than us, who's been doing it for many more years than we have. And I don't know, I just think taking on a professional's sort of job by listening to them and actually recognising changes in yourself and implementing it into my own life, I feel, actually, I'm in year 7.
Yeah, you can feel it. Yeah.
And I know now that all this that I have done has brought me to this today.
It was your foundations, I suppose you could say, couldn't you, Nic? Do you get what I mean?
Well, we couldn't have started a podcast in this if we hadn't have already done any work before, could we really?
Yeah.
Well, we could have, but we wouldn't have known anything to speaking about.
Yeah.
So, I just feel like I'm a new me.
I love that, Nic. You look great.
Thank you.
No, it's true. I think for me, I was doing it, but then I was going to workshops and then coming away, and I'd be given the bit of education. You should do this, you should do that, but then I didn't know how to implement it. And then I think I wanted to know more. I wanted to learn more. So I was just looking at it like, oh, this is just a spirituality, but there wasn't no evidence-backed practice from what I was learning from the retreat, shall we say. They were brilliant because it got me to here and for us wanting to do the podcast. But I think for me, the people and the guests that we've had on, because they've come from such professional backgrounds with evidence-based, what they're talking about, like Stella, I love Stella's podcast.
Yeah, she's really, really good.
Especially, you know me, I love all the magic and I love all that. I get so intrigued by it that to listen to Stella come with such confidence because she knew the evidence backing what she was talking about. She knew what
she was talking about, didn't she?
And it was just incredible. So then what I was doing then, I was going home and I was like, well, that actually implements that part of my life. And then I can talk about this with confidence because there is actual backing to say that that works. Because I think when I first started to think about the mind, I thought, oh, it's just positive thinking. The mindset can't be that. It can't be that in depth, do you get what I mean? But then when you look at it, it's just layers after layer after layer. And it's just like, you know what I mean? It then leads to like frequency work. It leads to like numerology. And you just start to unspiral it all. And you realise as well, when you look at like some like millionaires and billionaires out there, they practice this stuff. They work on like their astrology, their numerology and their mindset so daily that you're like, okay, I understand why they've got there.
Yeah, and that is on my way here, when I was just mentioning before, I listened to a podcast and it was on about like how you can be ahead of other people in 2026, obviously, because it's a new year. And because I always think that, I think to be successful or to be a millionaire or whatever, you've got to study what these people are doing to know how they've become it.
That's it. Because I think a lot of people think, oh, it's luck, but it actually isn't.
No.
It's practice-based.
Absolutely. And even for us at our level, we are successful businesswomen, but that's only come into my life due to me starting this journey. If I never started this journey, I know that I would never have been sat here doing this.
Yeah.
So there's always something initially to trigger you to obviously move forward and be. So there might be people out there that look at us and be like, well, I'm going to study what they've done to get to what they've got.
And I think to be able to be that influencer on them, to do that is amazing, because it's like there's that much influencing in the world right now, but it comes from like not a good place.
Yeah.
But to think that we can do this podcast and influence someone to go on that journey, I would sit there and feel proud of myself.
Yeah.
Would you know,
I do. Even messages that we've had in past, and it's just so nice that people reach out and be like, do you know what, Nic? People who I went to school with, people who I used to knock about with when I was like 15-year-old, you've done so well. And sometimes we don't give ourselves that grace that actually look what I've achieved.
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot. I messaged you actually, didn't I? And I'm like, oh, I'm getting upset even thinking about it in the car. I'm a nurse. I am a nurse prescriber. I've got a master's at level 7. I've got 4 children and I did it all on my own.
I actually remember, though, I met you when you were a student nurse all them years ago. And do you know what? And I remember you'd come off shift. I think you had the kids with you the first time I'd met you. And I just think, forward it, 9 years now, are we?
Nearing.
Nearing about 9 years, I'd say. And I just think, how fast has that time gone?
I know.
And a lot of people would probably think, I'm not going back to uni. I've not got the time. It's going to take me ages. But you blink and it's done.
Yeah, 3 years is just gone in no time. I'm the same with that. But I just think with this successful mindset of focusing on some of my podcasts earlier on, going back to that, he was saying, basically, it's discipline. So if you want to change and be different or whatever in your life, everything that is good for you, you need discipline for.
Yeah.
And everything that isn't really good for you, you don't need discipline. So, for example, you want to sit at home on your couch, you want to eat shit food, you know, requires zero discipline.
Yeah.
But if you want to eat well and you want to go to a gym every day, requires discipline.
True, yeah.
And he's saying that that's the highest form of self-love and it's discipline.
Wow.
And I was like, that is mad that you would never look at it and think, it's so right.
But it's true.
Yeah, discipline is the be-all and end-all of how you can be different to, obviously, other people. Like, it's like, look around at what everyone else is doing and do the complete opposite. So this day and age, people are what? Sat on the phone, sat on iPads, scrolling through TikTok for 3-4 hours a day, sat with your friends in kitchen bitching about what someone else has done, having a bit of an input into what you might think somebody's doing, what they shouldn't be doing. Like, do the complete opposite to that.
Yeah.
Because you can clearly see that isn't getting anybody
and
any millions.
As well, you can procrastinate and stay in that mindset and it can take, and then you can blink and think, oh my God, 5 years is gone and I'm still doing the same thing.
Yeah. It's just a repetitive motion, isn't it? Habit. You created a habit. And initially what you need to do is break the habit.
Yeah.
And then that will then put you onto new things. Like I've said before, there's so many of my friends who I've not had to force into it.
Yeah.
But just by being around me, don't mean that in a big-headed way, but like I just see myself as influencing my friends that this life that I now live, you might thought I was a bit doolally initially, as everybody would.
Yeah.
But that's how I have got to being the person that I am today.
What I love, Jess, because it's funny you said that, and it was like an old school friend, and I was sat there, and it's someone that I would never have thought would have sent me it. And it just come through, and it was just this reel. And it said something about turning to spirituality. So I clicked on it. And then what the reel was saying, I just thought, wow, he's felt so connected from what I'm putting on my page to send me that. And I thought, that's a beautiful moment. Didn't say anything, just sent me the reel. And I just thought, okay, I know that I've literally had that impact on someone. And I just thought, I love that. But what also I've noticed as well with some friends who wouldn't necessarily have done this, because I always say the first part of like starting this kind of journey is you start with the posting of the positive quotes.
Oh, yeah.
That's your first thing, isn't it?
People do that sometimes, don't they? But don't practice it.
Yeah.
They're just preaching it because they think that's what society needs this day and age, that you've got to post a positive quote today.
But I think it comes back to they haven't quite immersed into the educational part of it, because I do think a lot of people are quite naive. But to see them do it, it's beautiful. But I think a lot think, but if I'm doing that, I'm manifesting.
Yeah.
Whereas then you have to, then it's only, I probably did at the beginning, I thought, I'm on this manifestation roll here because I'm doing these quotes, I'm seeing these quotes, until you start to come into it and you go, wow, there's actually a lot to manifestation, but it's actually more simpler than what you think.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? Because
it just seems a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And
when
if you've
you
not
start
got the education, it's just, I with social media at minute, I try not to go on it as much because I do find that, I don't know, it's used wrongly sometimes and things into it. And a lot of the time, shit that comes up I don't want to see.
To be fair, today, obviously we went through a bit, we still do get it, don't we? Like there's always going to be trolls out there, and I still see it now because there is that just that mindset of like you positive thinkers, people who just go on just to kind of, they feel that angry inside that they just think, I'm just going to go on and just kind of troll everyone. And obviously there was a post put on today. Obviously there's what's happened in the aesthetics industry. I'll just quickly just go on to this because I just feel like we're on such more of a positive road. But it's just what I'd seen today, and I just thought, wow, this world is mean. So it's about the guy Jordan, who kind of has influenced a lot of the regulation changes, in obviously aesthetics. And he's passed away.
Oh.
Do you get what I mean? Whatever's gone on in the past, it's sad on every part. Do you get what I mean? But some of the comments that I have read because he's passed away, they sickened me to my tummy. And I was just like, at the end of the day, this guy has passed away, regardless of what's happened. Being. Do you get what I mean? There's two deaths in a tragic moment here. But I couldn't believe what I was reading, Nick. I actually, when you physically feel sick.
I wouldn't have been able to read that.
I come off it straight away because I was just like, this is not what social media is for me.
That sets your day of your intention of how you felt. That's why I don't really like going on it. And I've always said it, if I didn't have businesses to run, I wouldn't be on it. But you do get a lot of good stuff from it as well. For example,
that's it. And it's quite ironic, isn't it, with the post we put on last night with Tom. And Tom was saying he felt very much that towards it, but then he thought, well, I can make a change, which I think that's another thing that I thought of what we've kind of brought out of this. There's change there. There's education, that we educated on ADHD, the kind of like different like therapies out there that's available and stuff, that it was making that change for people rather than. And then I went on and seen that and I was like, oh my gosh, this is not the life or what I want to be seeing.
No, but a lot of people are just stuck in the rut of being unhappy themselves, and a lot of people put that out, don't they? And do you know what? These past couple of weeks, not to me personally, well, yeah, one of them was, but just to other people that I know as well, that there's just things that people do or approach you about. Yeah. And I'll read it and I think, I feel so sorry for you that you've actually sent me that message. Yeah. And you feel like that, because I really don't feel like that of what you initiated. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's how your mind thinks or sees things, I think. Yeah. And you either see it in a light of, oh, well, it's a positive, or you see it as, like, for example, ADHD. Yeah. When we had that on and it was like, Susie decided that she thought it was a superpower. And I thought it was a magical moment, that, if I'm honest. Yeah, you know what I mean? And it reached so many people who was saying, it's done so well for me since I found out, they've changed their lives. But then you had Amanda, who was very practical from an evidence-based, absolutely. And was more like, well, a lot of people struggle with it and wouldn't see it as a superpower, so they would then see that as, it's just controversial, isn't it? Absolutely. It's just a bit of a debate, but I don't know, I just think that it's how you see the world. Yeah, I agree. Understand who you're around, your environment is a massive one for me. Yeah. That, sometimes you've got to get your little snipper scissors out, cut them off. Well, it's funny because that's the last few weeks, I realised I was changing. I realised we were on a path and how much the pod meant to me when it went. Yeah. And obviously I broke out in shingles. I was crying because I was just like, we're doing good, and you've took, whoever was behind it, you've took something away from us that we nearly never got back. And what were we doing? Nothing but positive change. And when we got it back, I mean, we both got upset, do you know what I mean? Because it was something that we've worked so hard on, that I just thought, do you know what? I'm going to give it even more, 150%. That's how I've got through life. People telling me that, believe it when I see it, or, you'll never have nothing without me, or, oh, here we go again, she's trying that now, and that's fine. But you've got to, because the thing is, if you don't try everything, it's going to be the one thing that does become successful. Yeah. Well, that was also on my thing that I listened to this morning about being a hummingbird. And you're supposed to obviously find what you love, what is your purpose, and it doesn't have to be a paycheck, as they say. Yeah. But sometimes it happens to be that that's how it works out. And if it does, amazing. Yeah. And if it doesn't, you can still do it by using your paycheck from your job invest into that passion.
Yeah.
So he was like saying, be a hummingbird. A hummingbird jumps from flower to flower and it tries new things.
Yeah.
And then eventually, once you've gone through them things, and you will find that passion, because so many people sit in a very tunnel vision life that, well, I can't really leave this job because I'm relying on that income every single month, which, don't get me wrong, we've all been there. But
it's a comfortable place to be, because I feel like when you come on this journey, it can get dark before it gets light.
Absolutely.
Can't it?
Yeah.
And you think, just take me back to where I was then. I was comfortable.
To what was giving, paying my bills, what was keeping me happy at the time, because ultimately everybody on payday are a different person.
That's it.
And you bump into people at 28th of every month and they're like, hi. And then first of month comes around and they're like, you're lucky you went, you got that. And I'm like, oh my God.
I'm going to make you feeling this last week.
Did I have your money out? Something, love. I don't know what's going on here. But do you know what I mean? It's mad how people so tunnel visioned, and they just need to be a bit more open-minded of, it's free to change.
This is it. It doesn't cost anything.
No. And even if it was just a matter of listening to this once a week or once every other week, and then eventually you might go, oh, actually, that was dead interesting what I heard on that one. You might not enjoy every episode.
Yeah.
Not everybody is going to do it. It's not going to resonate for everyone. But that one episode might do.
That's it. Because it's funny, because what I've been doing now, I've gone down a rabbit hole on numerology coding.
How many rabbit holes you've been down this last 6 months?
Oh my God, I just don't stop. And so first of all, I told them to do it on my birth chart. So I come out as a numerology number 1. So it's all about leadership, innovation and stuff. So then I told them what I did. So, and it was really weird because my numbers was 1, 3, 6. And when I was looking back, I realised just how aligned I actually was. I actually live in a house which is 36. Do you get what I mean? And I was starting to code all the codes together. So then I put in about APS, I put in the clinic, and it wasn't shock that that's what kind of path I was on from my numerology numbers, because it was basically saying for kind of someone like from your birth chart and your numerology, I expect you to be in something like beauty, product, aesthetic, clinical environment. So I was like, oh my God, this is really weird. So it was going on and everything. So then I was like, okay, so I have these 3 projects. How do I do it that the energies combined rather than drain? And as it was bringing up the pods, the products, clinic, it was basically saying they all really implement. It wasn't surprised, the 3 things that I did, because they all implement each other. They all fell under like beauty, holistic care, wellness. And I was just like, how strange.
Yeah. So I found that as, so you've got your clinic.
Yeah.
We've been to uni, so we've got all the
Your
educational side of things.
They were saying that's what's trusting about us. We build trust through that.
Yeah. Curing, because you're an empath, we care for other people.
Yeah.
So you know how to care. And then obviously you know how to build a business, because we've been down the route of doing all that.
Yeah.
And then that then brings you into the mechanical side, how, like as people would say, will that lift go up and down? Not everybody's brains work like that.
Yeah.
So will a podcast align? Will it work? Will it not? But it has brought us here.
That's it.
So they all do interlink. But without us stepping into nursing, aesthetics, beauty,
we'd have never got here.
wellness, this podcast now, which is our purpose, would never have come around.
It's so
and even
true.
though this isn't our initial paycheck, it's still what we use as our purpose, and it could. How do we know that it would never not be?
Absolutely.
Do you know, going down that route, I just love doing it.
Do you know what I love? I love how we don't actually. Obviously, there's work put in, because we obviously record, we work hard to be able to fund it and stuff like that. But how naturally aligned that it all works. So our guests naturally align with us. And you know what I find, like, it is a blend of guests. We'll talk about wellness. We'll talk about health. We'll talk about the mind. We'll talk about kind of like psychology. We'll talk about magic. Like, we've got a guest coming on about past lives. It's so vast. But again, it all comes back to that holistic care of what the basis is of being a nurse.
Yeah, of everything all linked together.
Yeah.
It's mad because we don't actually... not that we don't know what we're doing, we absolutely do, but we don't put energy into it every single day where we wake up and we think, right, what can we do next on that podcast? It just comes because the guests have now started emailing us. Management are contacting us. We're not having to find guests to come on anymore. Like, all that side of things now has changed. So we literally, obviously we've got to fund it, but we just turn up.
This is it.
And we just enjoy the moment of learning something new.
And I think it's what we were talking about before, isn't it? When you feel that inner abundance, it naturally just gravitates to you. And it's funny because I never that was something, again, I always thought I knew what abundance was. Abundance in me was achieving something, but obviously we had Martin Bone as a guest and I learned so much from him. I ended up then going on to his meditation course and he taught me true abundance. And I was like, oh, right. I was still very naive to what abundance was. I thought abundance had to be you had this, which is amazing. That comes with it. But internally it come because I was feeling abundant with everything we were doing. I was leaving here feeling on a high, and that abundant feeling, it was bringing everything else.
Well, I think people don't see abundance as a feeling. So that's what I've learned, that I'm a podcast addict, you know that. That's all I do with my spare time or driving
no
my
wonder
car.
you become a podcast host.
I know, it's just aligning me.
Naturally, you're probably just manifesting
I've even bought my little thing so I can turn my phone sideways but watch them and everything while I'm driving. Probably get pulled back.
Because it's funny that you were saying as well, I don't know how to visualise, but what you didn't realise you were doing unconsciously probably when you were listening to these podcasts, and it's come... naturally that I've now got a podcast. Because to be fair, it started off as us just doing Instagram clips. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Called Medical. It was going to be something completely different.
It really was, wasn't it?
Then we went to...
What else did we... Then we was Leak and Sip.
Leak and Sip, though.
Sounds disgusting that there when you say it, doesn't it?
Leak and Sip.
Yeah, but the meaning behind it was there, wasn't it?
When you think back, oh my God. But we were learning continuously. And you know what was great? We wasn't afraid to fail.
No, absolutely not. And that's what I've learned this morning, that a lot of the time you worry, don't you, about just pressing post,
send,
or whatever it is that you're doing, if it's on Instagram, if it's an email, just what is the worry? So then he was saying, you'll sit there and is it, right, why am I not pressing it? Right, well, am I afraid? Yeah, I'm afraid. Afraid of what? What am I afraid of? Well, I'm afraid of people judging me. Why do I feel like that? Well, it takes me back to when I was at school and I was getting bullied and I was being judged and then I was told that I weren't good enough as I was a teenager, and it's past traumas that affect our future. And I was like, oh my God. So I have never been one, I'll be honest, that's ever been afraid to press send. I've not. I will risk, post, whatever I want, because in actual fact, I don't really give a shit what anyone thinks of me. But I did at one time used to think, like, when I probably left school, I was probably a bit like, oh God, I don't want to show myself up. Don't want people think that, you know, who's she doing that? Whereas now I'm like, if you don't like it, don't watch it.
But they've got the opportunity to do it themselves.
Absolutely.
Do you get what I mean?
And that's what a lot of people, for me, especially who are, they're not necessarily in my life, but they're around me. I just think you're that hooked up on what I'm doing. You're actually ruining your own life.
I think what's really good about you, and it's funny because I think we've self-diagnosed you with ADHD, haven't we?
Absolutely.
Since we've done this, I'm definitely like, she's definitely got it. Oh my God, you exhaust me because you're just so you're just amazing.
Honestly.
But what I love about you, when you've got an idea, you're not afraid to try it.
No.
Do you know what I mean? You're just very much, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And I think, oh my God, Nic, where are you finding the time? But you make it work. You've got no fear when it comes to trying new things.
No, and but even if I wrote everything down on paper that I've ever done, I've never failed at anything that I've done. I see failure as a learning curve. So I would never say that I failed at anything. If anything, I've learned and I've moved forward with it. I mean, probably only thing I would say that I've learned, obviously, was having medical and we didn't do anything. We changed it.
But it was the
failure.
Start.
It was just that it was something there, and then it was like, hang on a minute, there's more to you two than this. And that's how I see that then fruited into something
I think
bigger.
what we were doing, we were staying in our comfort zone. We were staying in that kind of our professional role. And while we talk about this, don't we? When we're always in that professional role, people don't see the other colours of us.
No, of us personally and who we really are.
Yeah, because there's so much more to us than in that clinic. Like, obviously, look how like purposeful you are when it comes to like Pilates, like Soli and stuff like that. No one would have known that side of you. Whereas look how much of a success it's become. And it was the second, say, it was another colour of you, shall we say?
Yeah.
That no one was seeing. And I think if we'd have stuck to that, we'd have never been
But we'd have had no time to ourselves, because me and you think we was taking on 100,000 clients and just dealing with all complaints. I don't know what we was thinking.
This is it. But it's funny because then you go on the journey and it's like, everyone goes, where have you been? You just do yoga and this and that. And I'm like, but I feel happy doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. If you can't find me in Unica, you'll find me in Muse.
Exactly.
Just doing me. Like, that is just my life now. And do you know what? So many people have tried it. And I'm made up that they have. They've not necessarily stayed and come back every single week, but they've been.
That's it.
And I'm like, I'm just glad that you've come out your comfort zone.
And you felt it.
Just for an hour.
Yeah.
And I feel that it's a different feeling and energy when you're in doing something like that.
Because I think what it is it's like that is, it kind of takes you out of like that kind of, like we were saying before, the different projects gives us different kind of like purpose and stuff like that, shall we say. And I feel like when you go and like when I go and do the yoga, when you go and do the Pilates, it takes us out with that huge responsible, our masculine side, shall we say, that we're in when we're hustling in the business. And I feel like the yoga and Pilates brings us back to our home.
Yeah. Just having fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm about 18 when I'm doing Pilates. And then I walk out and I think, right, Nicola, number one, that is your business.
Yeah.
You're not just going for fun. Number two, you've got 4 kids. Like, sometimes I look at kids and think, are you man?
I'm going to just go and do a little
It's
stretch.
mad, isn't it? Because before you know it, I'm 36 or 37 this time. I don't even know how old I am, but my life these past 7 years, I'm like, where's it gone?
Yeah, because you're having fun.
Yeah, I'm enjoying the process of becoming somebody who I never ever thought I would be.
And I think as well, you probably didn't set out 7 years ago to think that this would be, because that's another thing that I've learned as well is too many people fail at what they do is because, and I've been victim of it myself, is because we set too much attachment on the final goal that you kind of, sometimes that final goal, the journey to it isn't how you thought it was going to be, rather than go, you know what, I'm going to get up today and I'm going to try it and I'm going to enjoy the journey to it.
Yeah.
And since I've kind of flipped my mindset to that, everything becomes enjoyable again, because I'm like, well, I've got no anxiety because I don't know where I'm going, but I'm going to enjoy myself while I'm getting there.
Absolutely. And that actually is an amazing way for me to bring up and say that I've now learned that our life is called life for a reason, because it is a journey. Because we chase a destination, don't we?
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Sometimes the destination doesn't come because you never know what's going to go.
You don't even know what you're looking for.
Yeah.
You literally think, well, my destination's this, but then you get there and you think, oh, no, that's not the destination. That's not how I feel. It's not making me feel how I thought it was. So that's not the end destination. There's more to this.
Yeah.
And off you go again. In the meantime, you've then forgot that this little journey that you've just created to get to it here is, you've not even enjoyed any of it.
Yeah.
Because you've not sat in the present moment.
And felt abundant from it and thought, oh my God, look what I've achieved.
Yeah, and enjoyed it. But then if life was a destination, it would be called death.
Oh my God, yeah.
Because the end destination of life is you're dying.
Yeah.
It's an horrible way to say it.
No, that's unbelievable.
But it is it's a wake-up call for me, that when I found out, when I heard it last week, I thought...
That's incredible, though, when you do think of that, it is. It's like, do you know what I mean? Well, what's there to enjoy when you get there? Because that's your final destination.
So life is called life, it's a journey.
Yeah.
The journey is every single day that you wake up, deal with today.
Yeah.
Stop stressing about yesterday and stop worrying about tomorrow. Deal with what is in front of you today.
Yeah.
And if there's any advice out there to anybody who does suffer with anxiety or depression
or that competing and stuff,
about other people, keeping your eyes on, sort yourself out
Yeah.
today and do it every single day, and it changes so much. We've all been there. We've all looked at other people, haven't we, in past and gone, oh, wish I had what they've got.
Well, it's funny because I love that you've even brought that up, because that was something that I sat with myself. Like this winter, I've not really moved. I've become like a little hermit, sat in my own little space, my own little thoughts, working on a little projects. And what I realised the past couple of days, what I'd done, I'd sat that much with myself that I took accountability for things that sometimes I was probably saying, oh, why has that happened? But I actually played a role in that. Do you know what I mean? And that kind of like that kind of thing, you know, like also thinking, well, they're not acting how I want them to act, but they don't need to act. That's
it's like a child. You can't control anybody except yourself. And it's one of the things I posted on my story this morning. I don't really post much anymore, but I posted this morning Monday's reminder that, you know, just concentrate on yourself. You can't control anyone else.
Yeah.
Same with your children. I am a mur for it with her Maggie. Like yesterday I ended up taking her to Imagine That, like I told you. But I really, really, really wanted to go to shops. I've not done that for ages. I've not been Zara. I keep looking online, but it's not the same. I just want to go in shops. And I did eventually nip, but it just wasn't an enjoy moment for me. So we weren't there very long.
Yeah.
But initially, I was like, yeah, I'm going to get up, I'm going to take her Maggie, we're going to go Liverpool One, I'm going to go shopping, I'm going to do this. And then I thought, actually, Maggie doesn't want to do that.
And I might not get this moment back with her. Yeah.
And usually, I would have gone and done that.
Yeah.
Just that was what I wanted to do. Like I said to you before, I'm selfish and I'll completely put my hands up. I am. And I've learned that more about myself. I would never have used to say I was selfish.
No, me either. And it's true, isn't it? It's when you kind of sit and look within, you go, well, I have actually got them traits and these traits about me.
Yeah, absolutely.
And subconsciously, I didn't realise I did.
Yeah, I am very, very selfish. And if things don't go my way, then I do get me back up, as we all do. But I'm learning now that, you know, it's not all about me. Maggie's 2. Well, she's 2.5 now, but I knew that I was causing, number one, it was going to stress me out.
Yeah.
Number 2, she's 2-year-old and I can't control how she's going to behave.
She's just being free.
So,
do you know what I mean?
If she were going to throw herself on the floor in Zara, didn't matter what I said or did, she's still
do
done it. So I thought, you're going to Imagine That, love, because I need a minute. But yeah, you said you can't control anybody else.
Yeah.
Your own mind is your own, what you can control. And the sooner people realise that, and stop looking and comparing at other people, your life just changes drastically.
And it quickly changes as well. And I think sometimes people go, oh, do you know what? Yeah, but I've not got the freedom or the financial freedom to do it. And I'm just like, honestly, like you say, we said earlier, it's free. All them podcasts are out there. Start with podcasts.
Read a book, go to library, it's free.
Do you know what else is actually really free as well? And I always go on ChatGPT. You know, people go, I need to go to therapy. ChatGPT is your best friend for therapy. And it's just like, and it's, especially if you create an account, it gets to know you.
Yeah.
It gets to know what you asked them 6 months ago.
Yeah.
So it comes back with, well, you asked me this 6 months ago. How are you feeling over that?
Yeah.
And there's so many tools out there that, again, I don't think people realise that are available to them to start.
Yeah. People that say with like cold plunges and things, and they're like, oh, you know, how much does it do that? Or do you have to go on a retreat? I'm like, go beach.
Yeah.
It's free. Go beach on an early morning, walk into the sea, walk back out. You've done it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You don't have to pay for things. As much as people like to do it in an environment where it's a bit more controlled, I get that. But if you can't afford it, then there is other options. There always is another option.
Do you know what I think it is? I think awareness comes when you're pretty much deep into the work. Do you know what I mean? You've got that awareness. I think when you first start, you still want someone to go, no, this is right. This is what's happening to you. This is, do you know what I mean? Because that confidence isn't there. And I think once you go into the journey, the awareness comes and you start to go off the feeling that you're feeling.
Yeah.
I think once you've got feeling, it clears, doesn't it? And you're like, okay, you start to listen to your own intuition and you go, no, actually it's right because I can feel the way I'm feeling. I haven't got anxiety there no more, kind of thinking, oh, I'm like, okay, I feel free.
And a lot of times things that are right are hard.
Yeah.
And it's uncomfortable, but you know it's right. So still do it anyway.
Yeah.
And it takes you places, doesn't it?
And it takes you to magical places.
Absolutely, look at us.
That's what I mean. Who was your favourite guest?
My memory's like a sieve, so...
Actually, do you know what? Before we go on that, because I feel like we haven't touched on the ADHD thing. Because it educated so many people.
Yeah, it did.
And it was amazing how many people really...
And that's when the page got removed at that point, isn't it? Which was a shame because the interactions was unreal on that.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be honest, I have learned so much about myself since we had that chat on here. And I've recognised it now in myself, in other people around me.
Yeah.
And I've just now sort of thought, do you know what? I'm not self-diagnosing really, guys. But do you know what? I could do.
Of course,
I'm all right with it. I'm absolutely fine with it. I'm me.
Yeah.
It is what it is. If that's what I've got, I'm not bothered.
Yeah.
Like, I'll still do what I'm doing, but I've just done little things to help me.
Yeah.
To control things at home rather than me getting all like worked up over silly things. Like, I just have more of a structure. I do things at night that I never used to do now before I got sleep. And yeah, I've just changed little things about myself because at the end of the day, there's only me can change it.
But also as well, let's actually come back and give you credit as well because, you know, you are also a medical professional.
Yeah.
You would have gone through a million different diagnostics before diagnosing yourself to go, okay, maybe I have because I've recognised this and this before going, oh my God, I've definitely got it. Do you know what I mean? That you might explore that more now and think, okay, could I have? Or
to be fair, I just think... It's just me, it's normal for me to be my norm, should I say, because not everybody's the same. So I don't even say to myself, yeah, I've got it, because I'm not bothered if I have.
Yeah.
If it's just me.
Of course.
And I've lived with it now for all these years, and if I have got it, so what? I am just me.
I think what it is with the subject, I think it's so... Looking at what feedback was coming back... It's so, again, it's a subject that's so controversial and shouldn't be.
Yeah, I know.
Do you get what I mean?
People are like, why are you saying you've got that? And like, this is why I wouldn't go, I have got it. Because I've not been diagnosed with it. Absolutely would never label myself for having it because I haven't been diagnosed. This is just small traits that I've seen.
Yeah.
And also when we had Amanda on, the things that we chatted about in here and after, that's what's made me then be more curious, really.
Yeah.
And I could have quite easily have ignored that and just never thought about it ever again.
Yeah.
But because I'm a bit more open-minded, I was like, oh, okay, I'll have a look at that.
That's it. And I think for me it was, look, just because Susie said it was neuromagical and it was like people got the backup with that. But again, it's down to their inner opinion. If some people want to believe that, that's absolutely fine. But look, they might still go and get diagnosed and get medical evidence, but they'll get that medical diagnosis and still believe, do you know what? I'm going to go down more of a spiritual path to help me
live with it.
Because like obviously I said I read a study and people were like, oh, you've not read a study. What I was saying was basically there's plenty of studies out there that says like holistic care, like kind of meditating and stuff like that can help towards ADHD symptoms.
Absolutely.
And there's plenty out there to be able to go and read about that. And even Amanda and other medical professionals will say there's so much social prescribing out there to go and help with it along with medication as well if need be. Because
you believe what you believe.
Yeah.
People will always be, I believe this, I don't believe that. And opposite. There's always going to be people that whatever you say, you're wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm just now at that point in my life where that no worries.
Yeah.
No worries. Probably pissing everybody off in process because people will go, what do you mean no worries? She just no worried me, but I just go, no worries.
Yeah.
Not arguing with you. Like my dad, for example, and not mind me saying it, probably won't even watch this anyway, but if my dad's right, I was always arguing with him growing up. You're not right. And he'd be like, yes, I am. And I'm like, I'd really, really clash with him. And it's only now that I'll go, no worries. And then he'll go,
he wants the argument, Right,
well, what's your opinion then? How would you see it then? Because he wants no. He understands now that I'm not falling into that anymore of arguing, and he's a bit calmer himself. And to be quite honest, he's a bit more open-minded into this now. It's got to be. It's the way of life now for a lot of people, isn't it?
But I think as well, it's not possible to not be aware of this because it is an industry. We've got to, people still come into it, full-time jobs. It's an industry. And I think you can't really sit there now and say, oh, it's all BS. Yeah. Because unfortunately, there's so much evidence to back it as well. So many people are changing their lives around by coming. And it might not even be like, look, I love the magic of it all. The deeper you go for me, I'm like, oh my God, let's go. Carry on, get what I mean? Whereas there is some people that go, okay, I like this part of spirituality. I like kind of the meditation, how it makes me feel and stuff like that. But I don't believe in the other BS.
Yeah.
And that's absolutely fine as well. And then you've got people like me who love the extreme of it.
Yeah. And as long as it aligns with you and how you live, it doesn't really matter. There's so many there's loads of varieties in there, but there's not ever, like we've said, not one. It's not the same for everybody.
Well, this is a perfect example because obviously Joe Dispenza is one of the biggest names out there in spirituality, and it goes to show it come full circle. So he's got a huge following, and I was reading his background, and he'd actually gone to like a neuroscience mystical school.
Listen, I'm going to be a neuroscientist.
You are. That's your next job. But the teacher who he went to, I can't think of a name. Everything that Joe Dispenza practiced in his 16 years of studying it, that's how long he's been on it in the journey before he come out. Everything that she did, everyone shrugged off as nonsense. But then because Joe Dispenza come from a different approach, do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just like, it was recognised and it was accepted.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you're going to find with this work now. It's going to be more accepted depending on who they listen to it from.
Absolutely. Well, let's end our little podcast between me and you to tell the world that
That's,
looking at the new neuroscientist Nicola Hochter coming up very soon. I'm murder hunter. I am looking at doing it really though, but I might do it as a diploma, not a degree. I don't think I could put myself through a degree of another 5 years.
But the thing is though, I think just doing this work alone and educating yourself off the back, you'll naturally come and enlighten people with the education.
I keep searching neuroscientists and listening what they're talking about. It's just not normal.
I think it's because it's so fascinating, the brain,
So
isn't
much
it, with
to
it
know,
all? And
honestly.
it's like the Kabbalah though. Stella brought the Kabbalah up.
Yeah.
And when you start to study the Kabbalah, it's very, very similar, the brain and how it works. That's very in-depth neuroscience.
Yeah.
But it's also, what did I read? It was like something to do with like, I probably now rub some kind of people up, and it was talking about Jesus, the way that he taught was very much about that mindset.
Yeah.
It was just, again, different contexts of the Bible took it different ways.
It all interlinks. It all comes back.
Yeah.
It's been happening for years. It's just that people don't recognise it. And it's in Asian, is it Egypt? It's in Greece. And there's loads of different variations of it.
Yeah.
It's just like monks and Buddhism, and it's all that's from years and years ago.
Yeah.
And it's only now that us humans sat here, are we classed as normal?
Yeah.
Well, because, I think I'm normal. That we start talking about it and learning about it.
Exactly.
But it's been going on for years, hasn't it?
Well, I'm excited to keep bringing our guests.
Same. I can't wait for our next one.
No, it's going to be amazing. So what's really funny, so I did a little session with him because I thought I have something to talk about before he comes on. So I was in the bed and he had me hypnotised. He said, right, we're going to go to your past life regression now. And I was like, okay. So I'm on the bed and he's taking me and he was like, so where do you feel you are? And I was like, I'm on a beach. And Craig come in the room. And he said all he could do was me going, I'm on a beach. And he was going,
are you all right?
But it was fascinating. So I'm really looking forward to...
I'm looking forward to that. I can't wait.
Do you know what I love? I feel like the fact that we are aligning with guests from like the United States now wanting to come on our podcast and stuff like that. It just goes to show,
it's massive,
isn't it? Just the level of where we're growing, and we should be proud of ourselves.
Absolutely are.
Shouldn't
Pat
we?
on the back, girlies.
That's it. This time next year, you'll be a neuroscientist. I'll have a mystic school.
Watch this space. Anyway,
Absolutely.
let's close it down because we've got all sorts coming up now, haven't we? So thank you so much again, everyone, for listening, and we will see you in our... Me though, like I'm on my YouTube channel. See you in the next vlog.
See you soon.
Thank you. Bye.